The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, the amusement industry, and everything to do with fun. Here are your hosts, Carson Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Six Flags, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun.
And you just need to come up with another sentence right
I know.
after that.
I know.
So we're definitely back with a ton of news to share.
Oh, this is going to be a long episode.
It will be a long episode of me talking.
Oh, maybe not. We'll try that.
Please not
don't
have me talk the whole time.
Please don't let it be. I have a 6:15 a.m. call tomorrow for an all-day shoot.
Well, Evan, you want to get us rolling? And
yeah,
here we go.
Because before everything else, the big reminder for everybody this week is that coaster stock tickets go on sale this Friday morning, February. What is that? Would that be the 28th?
The 28th, yes.
February 28th at 10 a.m. We'll have the show up before then, so if you listen to the show on time, you will know that coaster stock tickets are on sale tomorrow or whatever. So yes, be ready. They said it's $71 or $72 for pass holders, and it's $30 more than that for
can I say that's a freaking amazing deal, because there's going to be a crazy amount of hours.
For reference, winter chill out tickets were $100.
That is right. That is very true. That is very true.
And just Chad from Kings Island sent out a little email today, I think it was. No itinerary or anything yet, but he reminded that, like I said, tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. And reminded once again that the event dates are May 30th and May 31st. That's a Friday and a Saturday, which is different than usual. Usually it's the weekend before Memorial Day. This year it's the weekend after Memorial Day. If you're going to Hollywood Nights, this is the same weekend as Hollywood Nights. So if you're going to Hollywood Nights, you're not going to Coaster Stock. Don't buy tickets.
What if I want to go to both events, right? No.
Well, they are close enough. You could probably split the dates. But anyways, Chad goes on to mention that this year's special guest speakers are going to be from PTC, the makers of the Racer, the Grand Carousel at Kings Island, and the trains from the Beast. And they were heavily involved with the design of the Beast as well. That is PTC President Tom Rebbe and Operations Manager Janine Rebbe Matt Shirts.
I'll say that's definitely actually his daughter, which is really
definitely cool. Butchered that last name. So that'll be really cool. PTC is obviously so pivotal in everything in the roller coaster world. So that'll be super cool. And then for you Cincinnati people, especially, the Partridge Family had an episode filmed at Kings Island. And I know that's kind of somewhat of Kings Island fandom lore.
Yeah.
They are going to have a special showing of that particular episode, which is interesting. They don't really give details about that, but I'm sure they'll be in one of the theaters at some point. And then they just kind of give some details about ERT. He says
33 hours.
20 rides included in 33 hours of total ride operation time just for coaster stock attendees.
Yeah, that's insane.
That sounds like a lot, but I feel like he might be cheating a little bit, because if 5 rides are open for 2 hours, that's 10 hours right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff. But it mentions that there will be Flight of Fear, Lights On, ERT, which is always fun. Beast will obviously have nighttime ERT both nights. Snoopy's Soapbox Racers will be included in coaster stock for the first time. Boo Blasters will be running with Lights On during ERT, which is super interesting. I don't think they've ever done that. Maybe during the Ace event last year that none of us went to. And then that River Racers, the new for 2025 water coaster in the water park, will have an ERT session. There'll be behind the scenes photo and video opportunities on the Beast, Racer, Orion, Diamondback, and more. Again, he mentions that tickets will go on sale Friday, February 28th at 10 a.m. You will need the people's name that you're purchasing for, their Coaster Club affiliation, and their t-shirt size, because we get t-shirts every year at Coaster Stock, and they're always awesome. And you could buy a limit of 8 tickets per transaction.
And you also be a member of a official Coaster Club that they recognize. Yes. So we're not going to list those. Feel free to.
ACE, Great Ohio Coaster Club, Coaster Crew. That pretty much covers it. Yeah. I'm sure that covers like 99% of the people that's listening. And then they will mail you the materials for Coaster Stock before the event. So that's like your t-shirt, your credential, all that good stuff. So that all you got to do is show up to the park on Friday morning and you'll be good to go with your ACE membership badge or what have you.
I love that.
So yeah, so that was super important information to make sure that y'all know before we jump into Winter Chill Out, to Winter Chill Out's announcements, Siren's Curse updates, and then my cruise trip report at the end. Yeah. So Carson, if you want to start it, or if
you want to talk a little bit about we got an update today. We're recording on a Tuesday night. You want to talk a little bit about what you heard?
What was it, like an hour ago?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, the Siren's Curse update that Cedar Point decided to release.
Yeah, was it much different information than what you got at the event? Probably not.
No.
But basically they mentioned that, as we know, the tilt track is in place. They started putting in the supports for the actual lift hill, the chain lift. They started on building the station. And then the big thing of this week was the unveiling that they received the lead car for one of the trains. And it looks sick. It's got all these awesome subwoofers for the audio, the onboard audio that'll be playing on the train while on the ride. So no doubt in my mind, it'll be crystal clear and it'll really set a good immersive experience, I guess.
Yes.
And they said groundwork is nearing completion. And once that's done, track and supports will go very, very quickly.
And they're also, I was going to say, teaming off of what you said, they talked about that they're starting to do station work, and then they're also starting to do, I think they set I think in the video, go on Cedar Point's YouTube page, or you can see what the video is and everything. But they talked about that they placed the control cabinets and things like that for, ride control systems and stuff and everything. So yeah, everything's, and obviously. Yeah. He's like, this great weather, we're plugging along. It's a lot faster when it's a lot, when it's like not 1 degree outside and, it's 50 degrees out, so.
Yep. And I think it's, there's going to be more good days than bad weather-wise coming up here. So
yes,
they got through the worst of the winter, and I think they're right on schedule or even ahead of schedule. So
I'd say he also said that they placed the giant supports pretty much coming off of the tilt track or whatever, and he's like, those are pretty much the highest points of the ride. They've already been set and they're putting track on there, and yeah, so
it'll go quick.
I'm excited. Anyway,
so what else did they tell you at Winter Chill Out? And then Kyle can interlude with the announcements at some point whenever you want, whenever you need a breath.
Whenever I need a break, yeah. So, well, first of all, I do want to say huge shout out to Cedar Point. Huge shout out to Tony and the team and everything that put this together. Awesome, cool that they raised over $120,000 or more for A Kid Again, which is a really great fundraiser. So really, really cool to that. Also, another shout out to Cedar Point for actually having more bathrooms than what was needed. They rented warm bathrooms and things like that. So that was a nice touch. There was a bunch at the front gate, so on and so forth. So, but yeah, so I'm just going to kind of walk like through the tour and stuff and everything. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to, stop me. But yeah, so we walked into the front gate and stuff, and you could see it was really great. It was 8 a.m. It was really cold, but luckily there was a lot of snow. So we've got a lot of snow pics coming for like the next 17 years, because there's so many snow pictures that I took. Like it was beautiful. It was awesome to see the coasters and everything just sitting in the snow. But walking down the midway, you could see, first of all, you can see the giant Siren's Curse, the tower and everything, and walking.
Which you've already seen.
Right. And then walking past that, whatever, we literally almost right off the rip, we literally started at Top Thrill 2's. We walked by Top Thrill 2. It looks fine. The trains aren't there yet. I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh. There's also, we got to go inside of the old engine house for Top Thrill Dragster, the new maintenance bay, I guess you could say, for Top Thrill 2, what they use for Zamperla and everything of that. Well, anyway, they used that building and put the train inside of there, the Siren's Curse train. And oh my goodness. So I guess Tony said that the volume was only at 60%, and man, was it loud. The LEDs were rocking, the speakers sounded great, and there's subs, and it just, oh my goodness. And then a little bit like in the Q&A, they talked a little bit about how they're possibly looking at getting like some really cool like custom sticker skins for the trains and stuff. So that's going to look really cool. It's not just going to be like a plain painted front or whatever. So they're looking into possibly doing that. But again, looked freaking amazing.
My jaw dropped when I saw it on social media.
Right? Yeah.
Can't even imagine in person.
Yeah. So walking down a little bit, we were going past the fry stand that's literally across from the Gemini. It's called Happy Fryer. And oh my goodness, I was like, whoa. I was like, what is going on here? Now, when Kyle gives an update, there's a blog on Cedar Point's page that Tony put together, and you can kind of see the renderings of like what this is going to be. The construction photos right now, it's just like it looks like it's existing in the building, but then also it's a lot bigger. It comes out a lot more on the midway and things like that. What's really cool is there's going to be like, you're going to be able to order your fries and things inside the building, which will be really nice. I think that it'll be a really nice.
I don't think you made it clear. The French fry place, the old one, was torn down. It's gone, and they're rebuilding it.
For the most part, I mean, there's still parts of the building that's still existing. It looks like there's just like a huge extension and a huge facelift, and you're not going to even know by the time they're done with it and whatever. So anyway, walking in, and then we literally went to the planning, or is it the planning and designing office anymore? I don't remember if it's called that. It's maybe the print shop.
The sign shop by Vengeance.
Yeah, the sign shop. I know it was planning and designing at one time. I don't think it is anymore. I think that was moved to Charlotte. But anyway, so obviously you could see all the signs, things like that. Rougarou sign was in there, which was really cool. So it looks like it was possibly going to be getting a refresh of like maybe some paint, some decals or something. I would assume that's why it's in there.
The station needs the decals too.
Yeah. So, there's that. It looked like they were working on a Cedar Point sign for maybe the front gate and stuff and everything that was being worked on. Also, there was a bunch of, so I know a lot of people, it was actually really cool that the tech services that set up like a really cool interactive screen where you literally could push a button and see what microphone or what like speaker that the park uses. And like, it literally gave you like the nitty gritty stuff. Like for instance, like your typical like paging system can be found like pretty much all over the park, like the really great, like the gray one or whatever. They even gave you the price. It's $191 to buy one of those. And I'm like, it's kind of cool. And then, further on, they literally had the giant, what is this? The giant, I believe, sub that they used for like Top Thrill Dragster when it would launch. And then they said that it was like moved to like Maverick's Tunnel. And just everything of like whatever. Well, that was like a $9,000 price. Like, and it's so cool. Like I'm gonna have to post these photos on our Facebook page because it was really nitty gritty. They also had the old jukebox that used to be at Coasters, which I thought was really cool. I thought they got rid of that, but Cedar Point really kind of doesn't get rid of anything. To be fair,
they find ways to repurpose it.
Yeah, literally. Speaking of repurposing, I know that everyone was like, "Oh my goodness!" Like, hopefully, Millennium Force, with its 25th anniversary, it will get brand new lights and stuff. Well, something better. They actually refurbished all of the old lights that were that were on the hill for Millennium Force. So They resealed them. They cleaned them up. They were looking fantastic. They had them on display, and they were lighting and changing colors and everything. So I can't wait.
Nice and bright.
They were very bright. Yes, they were very, very bright. So super stoked about that. Moving on, we went over to where Skyhawk was and stuff. And wow, can I just say
Skyhawk was?
Sorry, Skyhawk is. I was thinking ahead of myself.
I know.
But then looking
don't need to confuse people, Karsten.
Sorry. But then looking over past Skyhawk, you literally see Millennium Force. You can see its hill, you can see its drop, you can see everything. And I'm like, obviously Snake River Falls
doesn't seem right.
Snake River Falls is completely gone. Completely just gone. The only thing that's there is pretty much like it looks like the chute that they had for like the concrete and everything, and then the station's still there. But literally, wow, did it really open up the area? And you could see Millennium Force from where Skyhawk is. Like, it's so cool. It blew my mind.
I'm going to stop you just for a second. I'm very surprised that not a lot of people posted pictures from the event. Like, I thought I was just going to see a bunch of people like, oh my God, look at Snake River Falls is granted, it's not breaking news or anything, but like, I didn't see a whole lot of like fanfare about it. But the pictures I did see, it's like, this is a ton of room, like way more than I thought.
A ton of room. Well, I mean, they also got rid of, I can't remember what it's called. It was the Rip
Professor Delbert's Frontier Fling. Yeah.
So that's gone. Like, everything is gone in that area.
From when you count from the walking bridge by Maverick's like launch, all the way to, we'll say the building that you bought your tickets at for Frontier Fling, or we'll say Shoot the Rapids entrance. That's not a little bit of room, especially when you count the room that Delbert Frontier Fling occupied. Like, that could be a major addition, like GCI coaster and themed area type additions. So that's something to keep an eye on. I feel like people are overlooking what a big thing that could be. Anyways, just wanted to put that out.
No, I agree. It's just it is absolutely insane. Walking past that, we got to go to the petting farm that Cedar Point has there.
Oh, they brought the animals up again this year?
The animals were out there, and they were giving out free feed and stuff and everything. So
we saw churro and chorizo.
Yep, everything. Everybody was there and stuff. And then I'm trying to think what else here. By the way, we walked by Millennium Force, and obviously it's its 25th anniversary, and it's getting a brand new lift hill motor. It looks like a new, like, you can see through the trees and stuff. They're working on something. I don't know if it's like a new shed for the motor. I know I posted photos a few weeks back showing some of that off, but it's like, obviously, and you can see the fresh paint and stuff, which Cedar Point actually announced that they are going to be, it's going to be like a 2-year project for Millennium Force getting painted and stuff, which is really cool.
It's a lot of paint.
It is, it's a lot of paint. And then we come up over by the train station, and literally, oh my God, I got to see obviously the topping off of Siren's Curse with the tilt track, but I did not get to see the opposite side where past the train, like you walk over by Rougarou. Holy freaking crap. Can I just say, this thing is going to tilt like literally right above you as you're walking right next to it, right on the midway. Like, it
is in your face.
It really is. And I still haven't posted photos of it just yet. There's a lot to post for it and stuff. So I'm just trying to stagger the posts and not let them get drowned and stuff. Obviously we went in the train station, or the
engine room. House. Whatever.
Engine house. We got to see a bunch of that. Pretty much the train and stuff. I guess they refurbed one of the coal cars, which was really cool. Like hand, like you can see, like they kind of welded it together and so on and so forth, whatnot. So, and then after that, we got to have an amazing lunch. Evan, holy crap! Did you miss out?
I heard that there's a new soup coming to Farmhouse.
Yes. Yeah, there it is. Oh my goodness. I don't know where all this stuff is supposedly going to be going, but I know
only heard about the chicken dumpling soup going to Farmhouse.
Oh my goodness. The chicken dumpling soup was like, I want to say it was pretty much, is pretty much top tier to where it was like the chicken pot pie last year.
Are
don't
they
know.
replacing the
I don't
pot
know.
pie?
Yeah, I don't. We'll find out.
Well, it sounds like if they are replacing it, it's a good replacement.
I do know that they are bringing a ton of different desserts, like parfaits. They said parfaits like the #1 seller.
Put it on a meal plan.
Maybe
Give me that instead of a side. Can my
maybe.
meal plan be an entree and a side or dessert?
Or just can I have my meal plan as a dessert?
Yeah. Or like like at Subway, you get a sandwich and chips or a cookie. Can we do that?
I was able. Luckily, we had a bunch of people at our table that had a bunch of different desserts, and they didn't mind me dipping my spoon, a clean spoon, into their parfaits because I wanted to try them all. But there was a banana cream parfait, a black forest parfait, a tiramisu parfait, which was really good, and then a strawberry shortcake parfait, which was also really good too. But they're going to be at different food locations. It's not going to be every single parfait at like the specific one. Like it'll literally whatever food location will.
You want the black forest one, you go to Farmhouse. You want the strawberry one, you go to Backbeat, kind of thing.
Yeah. So I'm not really going to talk about the food. Food was great. I'm super stoked with everything that they offered and stuff, and what they were talking about and everything. But continuing on, we got to go to the arcade. I still haven't posted any of these photos yet. Just check out our Facebook page. We've been posting like new updates every few hours it seems since Saturday. But they were showing off some of the Siren's Curse merch that they're gonna offer for like games and stuff and everything. That looks really cool. If anyone's into like mermaids and whatever else, I mean, that's pretty cool. Then there's
a lot of plushy stuff, like stuffed animal plushy,
and then
squishmallow, maybe not actually squishmallows, but that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And then we got to go over to like pretty much where they do all the flower designs and stuff and everything. We got to see the giant Siren's Curse 2025 that's going to look really, really cool in the giant flower pit that you can't take pictures of on top of the sky. But you can look at it, So I did also find out, and I don't think anyone's really posted about this, but I don't know, but they're giving. Oh my goodness. What's the one Super Himalaya? Is that it? Yeah. Right?
By
Super Himalaya. Yes. They are giving that a complete refresh, like brand new paint, brand new LEDs.
I thought they should have done that last year. So cool. That makes sense.
Seat cushions. Like, I mean, everything is getting completely rehauled. I did also find out that that Windseeker will also be getting a new lighting package. Supposed that as well. So yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. So and they
what's wrong with what's on it?
I mean, they just probably want to replace maybe it because I know it's
those are going to be freaking bright then.
right. Yeah. So we'll see what I'm super.
Go wear sunglasses by Windseeker even at
yeah, you'll get like a tan or something on it. What's cool is like in the maintenance bay, you can see obviously all the maintenance and things like that that's going around on all the coasters and stuff. They did actually have the old control panel for Millennium Force, and you could push the buttons and you can see the screen, which was really cool. And a little bit of a, hey, glad you came to Winter Chill Out this year. They literally had the giant control panel for Top Thrill Dragster, not Top Thrill 2, Top Thrill Dragster. And boy, oh boy, was there a ton of buttons. Literally, it was like there's like a switch this, a switch that. It's like a launch. For instance, just here's like launch train jog forward, and then launch train jog reverse, and launch train block area, and then it's like what? And then it's like transfer track jog reverse. Like you're like whoa. And I mean, I'm telling you, there's probably like at least 30 buttons on this thing. It's insane.
I saw the pictures of that control panel. That was
That was fun. That was
probably hard to get trained on.
Right. And then also they did show off. They had Kyle, you might be interested in this. There was a guy there that I believe he works for, Six Flags, the entertainment, but he had showing off drones and stuff to where they were showing off how they inspect coasters, drones. He had a bunch of footage, like a video screen of like them getting really, really close to like Maverick and checking all the joints and the crevices and things like that to make sure there's no cracks or anything.
Don't say crack.
Oh yeah. So, but they're checking for cracks. But yeah, so that's really, really cool. And then also we walked by Chickies and Pete's, which doesn't have its sign anymore. We don't know what's going to happen with that. It could be steak and vacant, or it's getting a sign.
All I'm saying is I'm sure Chickies and Pete's isn't getting a new sign. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe they're going to paint it a different color. Who knows? I don't know. So, and then we got to obviously go inside the old pirate ride that our little older folk would know where that's at. It's over by Blue Streak.
That's what
some of they have some of the park, some of the animatronics and stuff and everything that I guess it used to be on the ride or something that was over there.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I did actually skip this, and I do apologize. Oh my goodness, Evan, you missed out. You did not actually. You've never seen this, but we got to take a tour through the bakery, the pastry chef area, the kitchen, the pastry kitchen.
Yeah, they've never done that before.
Yeah, that was really cool. We got to talk to the head chef. I can't remember her name. I do apologize. But she was talking about how, pretty much like every single one of the rolls that's made at Grand Pavilion or the rolls that are anywhere around the park, those are literally handmade, literally right there. It was so freaking
Where
cool.
is that in the park?
It's so
not in the park, but
it's not in the park. It's literally it's next to the warehouse. They have Cedar Point has a warehouse for pretty much everything that you can have, anything the park needs. It's a huge warehouse, and then next to that there's a room, and then literally you open it up and there's a giant, beautiful. I guess in 2021, I think is when they.
But where's
that?
Like in relation to where? Like, is that next to Raptor? Like, where is?
Oh, sorry, no, yeah, it's over by, I would say, the old convention center, kind of something like that.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, so it's in an off camp. Like we weren't even allowed to take pictures in it. That's why I totally forgot.
Her name is
it's pictures. So
I believe her name is Elka or something like that. The summer
Chef Elka.
Yeah, the summer I did video content for Cedar Point. That was when they started that program, and I got to go in there and do some videos of her and some photos for the website. It's nice. A cool little bakery.
It's nice. It's really, really nice.
State of the art is probably being brand new. Huge
mixers, crazy to see. And then people are like, "Oh, that's store bought." Like, no, they're making them homemade right there. So, and then we got to go into the Jack Aldridge Theater. We got to see a bunch of like behind the scenes of like the shows that they do and stuff. A bunch of lighting. It's really cool. They actually had some of the soundboards that they used. Obviously the stage isn't there anymore. And then they also had the lighting console and stuff that they used to have at the stage area over by Iron Dragon. It was cool to see. I'm a nerd, obviously, so I talked.
I was going to say that's right up your alley.
Yeah, it really is, and I talked to the girl probably for a good 20 minutes and stuff. It was pretty cool. It was towards the end of the tour and stuff. So, I actually asked little nerd tidbit. I asked how the lanterns work for like a show specifically, and so what happens is literally they pretty much get like a module that they can download on the software, and what they can do is pretty much like the lighting is already on a software, but they can take like say like a box that's quote unquote the module to like make something happen with the lanyard or with the lantern, and literally they can drag it to where the show scene like changes and gets all spooky and stuff, and literally they can change the lantern to whatever color that you want, and so on and so forth, and you can extend it however long you want. Which was actually really cool. I was like, okay, I didn't know if it was just like a click button to where they just randomly push a button, but it's very, very in depth and everything. So got to see all that. Obviously, the gift shop, Evan, your forte. There's a ton of buttons that are coming out. They've got. I'll just read off the series. You can go to our sub.
This is only like half of them, right?
I don't know.
I think they always do 150, and I think only like 70 were displayed.
Oh, that's weird that you knew the number. I have no idea what.
Well, because 150, it's been 150.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out on opening day. But they have 25th or on 2025 anniversaries, which is really cool. Mm-hmm. They have the ride heights, Millennium Force, obviously, emotional roller coaster. So it's pretty much like emojis with like different facial expressions. They have fun rides. They have My Era. They also have
for you Swifties out there.
Food series. 12 days of Cedar Point, and I do want to take a nod. It's like there's one
at Cedar Point, my true love gave to me.
Yeah, a fun day at Cedar Point. Second is Gemini Racing. Third's Bumper Cars. 4 is Power Tower. 5 is Prizes One.
I cackled when I saw this.
This is the best one. I swear, it's literally 6 flags waving, and it's literally 6. So yeah, so I was a nice little nod. Shout out to the
what weird dystopian world are we living in that we're a Six Flags park? I'm sorry. It still doesn't seem right.
It's great. And then we also had a bunch of Siren's Curse merch that you could buy, and also there's a bunch of stuff that was coming. Kind of show you like a little preview and stuff. We got to see the 150 sign and say goodbye to it because it's going bye-byes, and a brand new sign is going to be taking its place. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know if you guys, that was pretty much all my tour. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything. I tried to explain as much as I will say that you can see Siren's Curse's tower pretty much all the way through like the park and stuff. But there's so much going on at the park. Like there's brand new water slides that Kyle's going to talk about here in a second. That is going to be that they announced.
Winter chill out announcements. These are the best announcements of the year, I swear.
But yeah, I know that you always are like, oh yeah, you're going to know about the winter chill out announcements before winter chill out. Well, yeah, Tony pulled a fast one and says, no.
Oh, I'm glad. That's the point I want to chill out. There, at least it always was. Besides for the charity event aspect, was that you got to know some stuff before everybody else did. Yeah, it
was really cool. It was really great to obviously be inside the park. I know that
second time this year.
Yeah, that is true. Someone's a little bitter, I can see. But Kyle, do you have those awesome winter chill out announcements that the park announced for all of what's coming in 2025?
Yes, I do. I can read through that really quick. This past weekend, we hosted more than 1,000 guests for our annual Winter Chill Out event, a fundraiser that benefits a kid again. The event was a great success, with our guests raising more than $120,000 for the charity. At that event, we typically reveal a few smaller new additions to the park for the upcoming year. If you weren't at the event, here's a quick recap of some of the new offerings you can look forward to. Just last week, we received the lead car for the Siren's Curse ride trains. Guests at Winter Chill Out were the first to see it up close, experiencing the car's ability to display vibrant LED lighting patterns and brilliant clear audio near the headrests. These special effects will give you a new immersive experience not yet seen at Cedar Point, and we're pumped to take our first ride. Main Gate. When you step inside the main gate this year, you'll see a new photo op. We're swapping out the 150th anniversary sign with a new evergreen Cedar Point sign, so make sure to grab your annual photo and cherish the memories you're about to make at the park. Happy Fryer. We're famous for fresh cut fries, and our most famous location is getting a major upgrade. Happy Fryer on the Gemini Midway will have a whole new look, and you'll step inside to get your spectacular spuds. Inside. That's different from how it's been in years past.
Yeah. It's nice that you can get out of the elements for just a second,
This new cafeteria-style setup allows us to serve you faster and allows for some customization along the serving line, should we decide to shake up our recipes. But don't worry, the traditional flavors are a staple here and will continue in 2025. Cedar Point Shores Water Park.
Pause for just a second. I was going to say, I'm so excited with them saying that. I'm freaking excited. There could be like, I don't know, 15 different topping options or something that they could possibly. I'm like,
just different stuff throughout the year. And I don't want to take too much time. The artist rendering that they show on the website of this It doesn't even look like Cedar Point. It looks so good. It looks like
almost looks like
Gardens Williamsburg.
Out of either Kings Island or Busch Gardens. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Like this was so out of left field, and I'm so stoked for it.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue.
Cedar Point.
This was also out of left field, but
Cedar Point Shores Water Park. Over at Cedar Point Shores, 2 new slides are coming to the former Cross Current Tower, which has been vacant for the past year. These 2 tube slides feature a twisty layout, with one of them having translucent sections in the fiberglass, allowing the sun to shine light through them and creating a lighting effect above you as you slide down. Millennium Force, the best roller coaster in the world. Come on, guys. That's debatable. Come on.
I love that. I love
Tony. Tony literally at Winter Chill Out, he was like, by the way, it is the best coaster in the world. I don't care. I veto everybody.
So. Whatever.
Correct.
All right. Millennium Force is celebrating its 25th year at the park and getting several upgrades. First, a 2-year painting project continues as we refresh every surface of this record-breaking monster. Painting picks up in the spring, will continue in the fall, and then back again in the spring for a 2026 completion. In addition, the ride is receiving upgrades to its control system, including a new lift motor drive system and control panel. This means more uptime and increased dispatch times, which equal more rides for our guests. Ride lockers. We're adding free small item lockers at Top Thrill 2 and the new Siren's Curse. Top Thrill 2's lockers will be located at the entrance to the ride, while Siren's Curse's lockers will be in the queue and will be double-sided. These lockers will accommodate small items only, cell phones, keys, wallets, etc. But you can still rent larger lockers for bigger items. Famous Dave's. The Famous Dave's barbecue location in the Cedar Point Marina is currently on the move to Castaway Bay on Cleveland Road. This new location will be open all year and is undergoing an extensive renovation inside and out. Dine in, order to go, or have it catered. This location is scheduled to open in early May. Those are some of the big moves we're making for 2025. We'll be sharing more details on new shows, menu options, and other features as we get closer to our opening day on May 3rd.
Can I just say the big caveat on that is free lockers for Top Thrill 2. So everybody can calm down. No, you're not going to be able to fit your giant stuffed animal in there. That's going to be a paid locker. But like if you want to throw your keys in there, your wallet, sunglasses.
I still see people complaining.
I know, right? I just
what are we supposed to do, guys?
We're just supposed to Evan, this is what's really like. We're Cedar Point's just supposed to be a free park. Everything's supposed to be free. You're supposed to just walk up to a food stand and not have to pay anything. You're supposed to go on a ride and not have to worry about putting anything in a locker. Like,
no, and especially because you're also supposed to be able to get on a ride and be able to keep your phone out so you could check Twitter and Facebook while you're on the phone or while you're on the ride. Because apparently it is so freaking hard to stay off your phone for a freaking hour while you wait for Top Thrill 2. Oh my God.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
I don't.
I'm so annoyed with people.
I don't get it. I mean,
what did you people do in 2005?
Kudos to the park that Tony says, hey, we listened, we heard. They will be free for you, but they will be obviously limited, and they will be for limited things. Like, sorry,
I don't want to put this out there, but I'm going to. I wonder how they're going to monitor the Top Thrill 2 ones that are out on the Midway.
Just put a time limit. I mean, that's what they do at Universal, right?
Don't be an idiot. Yeah,
right, Kyle? They do a time limit.
Universal's is whatever the ride wait time is plus like 30 minutes. And then if you keep your things past that point, it charges you. At least it used to charge you. I don't know if it still does, but it won't. Yeah. It won't open. You have to actually go get a team member, and then they open it, and they kind of scold you for keeping your stuff in there for too long. But it is worth noting that doesn't include downtimes. So like if you're in line for, Hulk, and the line was an hour and the downtime is 40 minutes, that downtime does not count against you.
Oh, okay.
They factor that in your wait time.
Like pretty much when the ride goes down, they just shut off the timers on the lockers, if that makes sense.
Oh. Interesting. Cool. I actually didn't know that. I was going to say, on the other side, you've got people complaining, be like, but they should have bins up there. It's like, Do you want
I'll enjoy your 4-hour wait.
And then it's like then they have bins, and then people are like,
Karsten,
the line's too long. It's like, well, they're trying to make it short.
Wait in line with my phone. Then that's the important thing.
Right. I mean, we did it. Obviously, Top Thrill 2 was not open a lot last year, but
really, I hadn't heard.
But like, we didn't have any issue of putting our phone away, and we talked to each other. We had a conversation. We, it was fine,
Oh my
and
God.
so
what did everybody that's complaining do until what? When did phones become so mainstream? 2010. What did all of you do from the moment you were born till 2010?
No, I just wanna rage scroll as I talk to you, Evan. I just want to rage scroll.
Like, do you have to be on TikTok at Cedar Point? These kids, I see kids walking around with AirPods at hockey games, and it's like, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, watch the game. You don't need to listen to music. You don't need to be on TikTok right now. Yeah. God,
I don't know. I just don't understand it, but I'm happy that there's free lockers, and so there's not going to be,
And I'm also going to Siren's Curse. I'm thrilled that they're going to be properly set up. Sorry, Steel Vengeance. Properly set up double-sided lockers, like we've seen a Wildcats Revenge at Hershey Park, like Velocicoaster at Universal, like everything I wrote at Energylandia. They even put it on the friggin' kids coasters there.
For me, the Top Thrill 2 lockers drama, like personally for me, wasn't even what upset me wasn't even that they were paid. Like whatever. I would have wished they were free. Like, that's good guest service. That's something you can do that doesn't cost you anything, that will leave a positive impact on your guest, versus something that you don't do. People are going to complain about it all the time, and it's going to drive down the guest satisfaction scores of that ride. Whatever. Like, we could debate that for hours. What upset me was the fact that they were like, oh, well, it's not us. It's Zamperla. They're the ones that said we need to charge for the lockers.
Yeah.
Like, no way they did that. Like, that is a 110% save face.
Sorry, they said that no loose articles and we can't turn them to free. So.
Yeah, like, whatever. They didn't say that.
It was so funny last year. What was it, like 2 days before the park opened? Oh, by the way.
It was like, hey, they
knew it was going to be a bombshell. They knew,
Like, you guys, you're not going to believe this, but we just got an email that said... Like, whatever.
Antonio himself emailed Tony and said...
I'll stop complaining about it. That was my issue with the whole locker situation. Yeah. Not that they were charged, whatever. Like, oh well.
I just thought of it as just like as a premium ride experience, and you want to pay like a few extra bucks for a premium ride experience, then, there you go. I mean, because Top Thrill 2 was a premium ride, at least in my case.
I mean, it was, right? But also, like, Velocicoaster is a premium ride experience. They're free.
I would totally pay for a locker. I would.
Yes,
I would.
You would, but whatever. We don't need it. This isn't going to go.
Would I be happy about it? Probably not. But like, would the mom of like 5 that spent like $600 or $700 on tickets and whatever, like, not be happy about it? Probably not. She's probably wanting to be save as much money as she can, so that way more money could go to souvenirs or something. I don't know.
The last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to jump into my cruise because we've been going for a while. It's once again, around this time every year, we have a new chapter in the locker saga since 2018 at Cedar Point. Every year, there's a new chapter written with between Steel Vengeance, then Top Thrill 2, and now Top Thrill 2 and Siren's Curse.
Yeah.
When's it going to end, guys?
Darn if you do, and darn if you don't. And just real quick before you jump in, Evan, I was going to say they did mention and they did talk about Top Thrill 2. It's still on track, quote unquote, to open on opening day. They're still waiting for the trains, obviously, to have whatever modification done to them. And so so all positive stuff. They weren't like hiding anything. They weren't hiding anything. They gave us lanyards that literally were Top Thrill 2 lanyards. They had ride like the
bunch of new merch for Top Thrill,
and they had a bunch of merch and stuff and everything in the gift shops for Top Thrill 2. So all sales forward. I know a lot of people are like still like, we'll see it when we see it. It's like, dude, stop living in the past. It's a new year. Let's get over it and let's see what happens. So that's all I've got.
All right. I need to breathe after all that. Anyways, I was a little more relaxed, I'd say, when I was sailing the Caribbean last week. So I think I kind of went through what my cruise was going to be before we took our little 2-week hiatus.
Yeah.
But I'll remind. So what we did, and now I could go into a little more detail because I kind of, now that I've done it, I know I didn't really know what to expect back then. So we've sailed out of Fort Lauderdale on the Royal Caribbean Grandeur of the Seas. It's their oldest boat in the fleet, and it's the smallest boat in the fleet by tonnage. But it's like 40 more. It seats like 40 more people than their actual smallest capacity boat. Whatever. That aside, beautiful boat. I mean, you'd think, oh, oldest and smallest, it's going to be gross. It's going to be dated. No, from the moment we walked in on deck 4, it was just, it's beautiful. It's clean. It's unbelievable. So we got on the boat on Sunday morning at like 11:30. And of course, obviously, rooms aren't ready yet. So we just kind of ran around the boat looking to everything we could see. Not a ton to do on the boat, to be honest with you. It's food, it's casino, some pools. It's an old boat.
Alcohol.
Classic. Yeah, a lot of bars. There's a lot of bars. A lot of themed, maybe not themed bars, but, you know, I'll kind of get into it. The boat, it's, you know, it's not like the Icon of the Seas or the new, they just announced Legend of the Seas while we were on the ship. It's not a floating water park. It's not a floating mall. It's not a floating theme park. It's pretty much, you got your food, you got your bars, you got your pools, and some stores. That's pretty much it. But that's okay. That's all we needed. Our first night at sea was, you know, obviously our first time in the main dining room on a cruise ship, and I don't know. I heard people saying that, oh, the food's okay. Oh, no, it was phenomenal. I mean, I had, I think, New York strip, just, you know, for free. All food is included, or at least as much food as you need is included. And
so wait, so you had the New York strip. Could you get like 10 New York strips?
I mean, it was kind of like a don't be an ass rule.
Okay.
like they each night they had a different menu, right?
Because I'm like, dude, I would be loading up on the steak like crazy because I'm a huge steak fan. So.
When I sailed on the Disney Wish, our very first night, I got a filet mignon, and my waiter's question was, he said, "What can I get you tonight?" I said, "I think I'm gonna try the filet mignon," and he goes, "Excellent choice. How many do you want?"
Wow. I'd be like 5.
Like there was like 5 or 6 choices, right, each night, and it was like, yeah, you could try as many of them as you want, but also don't be like that guy and just like nibble on each one.
No, I would full on eat those.
If you could finish your plate or at least put a reasonable amount of work into it, yeah, order as much as you want.
Fair. Okay.
Don't be like, I'm gonna try one asparagus and I'm gonna have one bite of the steak and then I'm gonna
no.
a spoonful of this, you know, chicken bake or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that. The main dining room was included, breakfast, lunch on sea days, and then dinner every night. Overall, food was just phenomenal. Can't say enough about that. Monday was our day at sea. It was also my girlfriend's birthday, so we actually did one of the upcharge restaurants, Chops Steakhouse. It was phenomenal.
You said that was an upcharge steakhouse?
Yeah, it was like $30.
Okay.
Plenty worth it. Steak was good. I wouldn't say the best in the world, but it was good steak. Side dishes were good. Desserts were phenomenal. I'm trying to think what else was like of note. You know, it was a lot of just more just like exploring the ship that day and just hanging out and being like, we haven't cruised before, so we're sailing. We're in the middle of the ocean. It's like this is cool. This is really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Off the right side of the boat, as we were heading to our first stop, I could see the Cuban mountains in the distance, like in the far distance, which I never thought I'd see Cuba in my life, but because I never thought I'd really think about cruises because I'm a theme park guy, but they're very similar to theme parks in a lot of aspects, especially the bigger ships. So then really what I need to talk about is our 2 port days. Our first one was in Labadee, Haiti, which is not actually Haiti. It's Royal Caribbean's private peninsula that's attached to Haiti that they lease from the Haitian government. It's fenced off from the rest of the country, so I know there's some sticky situations going on in Haiti. Labadee is completely safe, and it is beautiful. I mean, talk about paradise. I mean, it's unbelievable. They have like 5 or 6 beaches. How do they tag it? The longest zip line over water.
Ooh, okay.
Which we did. The platform is 500 feet up in the air, but that's not straight down. Like if you took the platform and then moved it out over the water, that would be 500 feet. But like you're up there, you're up there.
Dang. Okay.
It's unbelievable. Unfortunately, I couldn't take my phone up there. I had to leave it in a locker down. But you could look up. It's the Dragon's Breath zip line on Labadee.
Did you have to
photo from there?
Did you have to pay for the locker?
I did. It was like $12 too.
Whoa!
Damn.
It was an all-day locker. It was an all-day locker.
Okay.
So just saying, all you complainers, could be worse, especially on a supposed all-inclusive trip.
Yeah.
And the zip line was like $100 too, each. But that was unbelievable. I mean,
you zip lined right into the water, right? Or no?
It was so cool because at the end of the zip line ends on a beach, obviously, but you're basically skimming the water.
Okay.
And it was kind of a windy day off the ocean, so I was watching like white caps come in right under my feet as I'm going 80 miles an hour down the zip line. It was so cool. There's videos of it online. Look it up.
Yeah.
So cool. Like honestly, one of the coolest things I've ever done in my life. But also because we are a theme park podcast, there's an alpine coaster on Labadee. It is called the Dragon's Tail roller coaster, I believe.
Okay.
Dragon something. Everything's dragon something on Labadee. It's made by the same people as the Smoky Mountain Alpine Coaster and Goats on the Roof and all that stuff.
Okay.
Got to ride it twice. We came back to the station. They're like, "Did you like it?" We're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Want to go again?" We're like, "Yeah." So that was $20 saved each.
Nice.
It was a really good alpine coaster on its own, probably in the upper tier, but you can't beat the views. You're looking at the ocean the entire time. It's gorgeous. Just crystal clear blue waters. You see the ship in the distance. So cool. And talk about a rare credit.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of funny. They gave us lunch while we were at Labadee. We're like, oh, cool. It's going to be like, Haitian inspired. No, it was burgers and hot dogs.
Hey,
they're good burgers and hot dogs, but it was kind of funny. Then they do have a Haitian market that they do let natives come into the island and sell their like handmade stuff. They're pushy salespeople. If you're thinking about going, they're definitely aggressive in that front.
How many bags haven't come back with?
I spent $75, which honestly I felt pretty good about. But it's beautiful handmade stuff. We have 2 cats, so we got a handmade statue of 2 cats.
Nice.
That
okay.
worked out.
And can't get a third cat, and if one cat dies, you got to get another cat. You got to keep it. Got to keep it.
Got to keep the There's some magnets and a turtle carving thing. Really nice stuff, but be aware. Then back on the ship, and then the next day we were in Puerto Plata, Dominican Republic. Now this was not a resort or private island or anything. This was just the ship docks in a city in the Dominican Republic. Okay. It's a resort city, or a tourist city, but still, we took a walking tour of the city, which ended up being a tour of a cigar factory. Okay. Handmade cigar factory, a chocolate factory, their big Catholic church, which was just beautiful. A couple other stops. They took us to a local restaurant. We got to try a local dish called sancocho, which is a meat stew, a Dominican meat stew. It's pork and chicken was this one, and then whatever the like gravy was. Think beef pot roast, but not beef, and it's kind of Dominicanized. It was phenomenal. So good. That was honestly one of the highlights. That was phenomenal, that dish. And then the next day we're back at sea, and then we were home. A lot of food. They know what they're doing. See, they feed you a lot so that you spend more money on alcohol because you need more alcohol to, get the desired effect, we'll say. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But we did a lot of dumb stuff. Like, there's so many raffles on cruise ships that are free. We didn't win any of them, but always look for that if you're cruising. We played bingo because why not? We went to the casino and I walked out $200 richer. So that was good.
That's a win.
Yeah, it was over in such a blur. Like, I was back at work yesterday and it was just like, man, did I even go on vacation? But I was also looking up cruises for next February because I think we are going to be regular cruisers. Both we would, if you're nervous about taking a smaller ship and that there's not gonna be enough to do, I wouldn't do more than like a 5 or 6 night trip. But Grandeur of the Seas was perfect for what we were doing. There's 2 ports, great food. The service on the ship was the best I've ever. Like, they treat you like royalty.
Okay.
How many days total was your cruise?
How many what?
How many days?
How many nights?
Or nights, whatever.
5 nights. It was 5 nights.
So it was 5 nights with only 2 port days?
Yeah.
Interesting.
We got on the ship Sunday, so Sunday night, and then Monday all day was a sea day. So then Monday night, Tuesday was Labadee, Haiti, Tuesday night, and then Wednesday was Dominican Republic, Wednesday night, and then Thursday was a sea day. Friday morning we got up and got off the ship.
See, so you had like the exact opposite effect or the experience that I had on my first cruise, because we did a 3-night and we had 2 port days. So we didn't have a day. We didn't have a day at sea. So I got off the ship and I was like, and all of the things that you thought about, great service, so much to do. Yeah, all of that. But I got off. I was like, damn, I don't feel like I saw enough of the ship because we spent 2 of our 3 days on land.
Yeah. And that's where we were really happy with this itinerary, because it was like, both when we were planning and then as even hindsight is 2020, it was like, yeah, this was perfect because we were, as we put it, there's nothing to do, but yet so much to do. Like, Royal Caribbean is so good about having so many like different, even if they were like, there was Broadway level shows in their theater, and those were great. This might actually interest some people that are listening. I don't know if you guys remember a magician that used to tour Cedar Fair parks by the name of Ed Alonzo. He went to Kings Island, Valley Fair, California's Great America in like the early 2010s. Yeah, he's doing shows on Grandeur of the Seas right now.
Cool.
I saw that on our itinerary and I'm like, that name sounds familiar. And I looked him up. He was great. But that, there's always something to do, but then also like, if we didn't feel like doing something, like we were just sitting out on the deck, like playing cards, and it was like, we're in the middle of the ocean and it's like 85 degrees out and this is awesome.
What kind of a room did you all have? Like an inside room or?
We had an interior room.
Okay.
And the room itself was okay sized for us. It was good enough. But oh my God, the bathroom is so freaking small. The cruise director, which was kind of like the entertainer of the whole trip, he like kind of opened up each show. He kind of had a little comedy thing on opening night. He goes, yeah, our bathrooms, especially in those interior rooms, he's like, they're so small. You could, how do you put it? You could shower, shit, and brush your teeth all in one spot. And that wasn't a lie.
Wow. That's crazy.
But that was my only complaint, literally. I cannot recommend it enough.
I know that you're definitely enticing me to get on a cruise. I was gonna say, are you still? Because I know on Snapchat you were like, yeah, I'm going to sleep and I still feel like being on the water.
That lasted until like we're recording on Tuesday. We got off the ship Friday morning. That lasted till like yesterday while I was at work.
Wow.
It started to like come and go like Sunday afternoon, but yeah, like all day Saturday and most of Sunday, I was like, I'm literally rocking. What the hell? That might have just been me.
On my first cruise, there was only like 3 times total that were like, oh, we're on a boat. Like, we had such smooth waters. And I mean, obviously we were on a humongous ship compared to
I'll say they probably
yours,
have like stabilizers on the bigger ships. And
that was something else I was going to mention. If you take Grandeur of the Seas or any of the other smaller ships on Royal or any of them, you do feel the water a little bit. I mean, we had what would be considered calm seas for most of the trip, but we still felt it pretty much at all times.
Let me
so like
ask
when you're going to sleep and you like you'd feel like waving back and forth kind of thing.
Yes, and you got used to it, and since our room was interior, we were in the middle of the ship, so you didn't feel it as much.
Oh, so it's not as bad. Yeah.
But if you go up on like the one where they kept doing like bingo and trivia was it was on the edge, like the left edge of the ship, and it was it was on one of the higher decks. That whenever I was in there, I'm like, yeah, this ship is moving.
Let me ask you
but like you're not going to feel that on Icon of the Seas.
Did you guys do the Titanic? You know, like the little...
We did stand out there.
Evan, where on the boat was your room? Like, I know you said midship. What deck?
Deck 2.
Okay. Feeling the boat, the motion of the boat was something that I was concerned about on my first cruise. And I looked it up. And apparently, if you are at all concerned about that, the best place to go to not feel the boat move as much as other parts on the ship is midship, lower deck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree with that because like even like as soon as even from our room to the stair or the elevator wells, like there was a difference just because we were almost smack dab midship.
How was your like embarkation day? Like your terminal was what, Miami?
Port Everglades.
Port Everglades. Yeah. How was that? Like, was it organized? You get on the boat quick?
It was so smooth.
Yeah.
I think when our Uber dropped, there was 5 ships in port that morning. Mm-hmm. So traffic was a bear. I mean, you had 3 Royal Caribbean ships, all bigger than ours, or the other 2 bigger than ours, and then a Celebrity and a Princess cruise. Oh, and a Norwegian. So there's 6 in port, maybe even another one. A huge, ginormous, 5,000 each, at least, people. So traffic getting in was nuts. But once we actually got to the terminal, it was, I think, when we got out of the car to the time we were walking on the gangway, maybe 10 minutes. I'm not even kidding. It was awesome.
I had a very similar experience. That was something I was worried about. I mean, I left my apartment and I was at the port in like 45 minutes because we sailed out of Port Canaveral. And then we got there, went right through security, and then went right up and got on. Like, there was no way. It was so smooth and organized.
We didn't even have time to like soak it in. Like, we're getting on a ship. Because the employees there are different than the employees on the ship. Mm-hmm. So they are just like, you need to move.
Yeah,
they were dense.
We literally,
but they were in and out.
We pulled up and we left our bags and they put them on the ship for us. And we got up, went through security, and we sat down in the terminal for, I'm not even kidding you, like maybe 45 seconds. And then we got the text, come on board.
Wow.
Yeah. So ours, Royal just does it a little different where they just, when you check in, like, I think it's like 2 months prior or something.
Yeah, they give you a port arrival time.
Yeah, it's like you choose your check-in time, and it was like 11 to 11:30, 11:30 to noon. And they're not super strict about that, but it keeps things spread out, especially on a small ship.
Disney's doesn't give you a particular time frame, but it'll be like your port arrival time is group 10. We recommend you get to the port at this time.
It's almost like their virtual queue.
Yeah. And then you'll literally, like, you'll be sitting there and they'll be like, okay, groups 7 through 11, come on board. Like that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. I could see that working very well also. But,
since we're talking,
ours was super smooth.
Since we're talking about cruises, this won't translate to anyone that's listening, but for you two, just today in the mail, I got my luggage tags for my cruise.
Ooh,
Awesome.
fancy.
That's exciting.
Yep.
That's exciting.
I was just, while you were talking,
That's
I was looking at my app, and it is 36 days until I get on.
Oh, those days go so slow. How many nights are you doing?
We're doing a 7-night this time.
Ooh.
So
Yeah,
it's
I wished I had another night or two, but
when we cruised, no one, it was my family and it was Ray's family. And of the 7 of us, no one had ever cruised before. So we were worried about, is anyone going to get sick? Are we going to like it? You know, what are we going to do? So the reason that we picked that itinerary with 3 days and 2 ports was that if we really despised it, we were off the boat for 2 days. And we all got off and we're like, oh yeah, that was not long enough. You need at least 5 nights. And then we booked a 7-night. So we'll see how a 7-night is. But we have we have 4 port days and 2 sea days.
Wow. I could see, and maybe this was just me, but having those 2 port days right in a row, it almost felt too busy. Like,
yeah, that was
exhausting.
That was ours. So our first cruise, we did got on the boat Friday, Nassau, Bahamas was Saturday, and then Disney's Castaway Cay was Sunday, and then back at the port on Monday. This one is a sea day, and then Cozumel, Mexico, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, and Falmouth, Jamaica. So 3 days back to back.
Ooh.
And then a sea day, and then one of Disney's private islands.
Wow.
So it should...
See, those 3 days in a row, you're going to be, oh my God, I have to get up early. Because that's the thing with port days, right? You can't like go out party all night. You got to be up and at it early the next morning so you can hit your excursions.
Yeah, and that is if you are doing excursions and you need to get off at a certain time. Like when we went to Nassau, we didn't have any excursion booked, and we didn't really care about.
You could just kind of mosey off the boat.
Like I did. I went to the spa that morning and got like a full massage, and then got off the boat.
So for instance, I've never been obviously on a cruise. You say that you can literally go to the island whenever you want. Are they running like shuttle, like little boats to the island, or what's going on?
Well, there's docks at the island. Like you get off the island and you just get off the ship, and there's a big cement pier that you walk on.
Karsten, that was going to be my next question for Evan. What you just mentioned is called tendering. Some ports that can't accommodate as big of ships, you get off the boat at like a little dock that's a little bit far away, and then you get on a little boat and you go to land. That's called tendering.
Okay.
Evan, I was going to ask, did any of your ports require you to tender?
Nope. They were both big cement piers.
Georgetown, Grand Cayman, coming up on my cruise, that is a tender port. So if we get off there, we'll have to get on a little boat and then go to land.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'll hear what you have to say about it, but that's kind of something I feel like I would avoid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it has the capability. Maybe on Grandeur of the Seas, maybe not because it's a smaller ship, but I feel like on a bigger ship like Icon or one of the big Disney cruises, I feel like that has the capability of just being a complete nightmare. We'll see. I'm curious to see what you say. I'm sure they have it down to a science.
Yeah, I've not heard any issues. And I mean, it's not like you're getting on like a little 10-person ferry boat. I mean,
Right. You're not getting on a fisherman's boat.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't think I have any more questions. I think that's it.
I did want to mention for anybody who's considering cruising, particularly the Vision class on Royal Caribbean, the smallest class that they have. We got on the ship, and the first thing we noticed was the guest services. They had a sign that said "Ship is sold out." The cruise is sold out. There is no upgrades available. And our immediate reaction was, "Oh shit, it's going to be packed." Not at all. For a ship that was supposedly sold out, we never felt like the boat was too busy. The pools were never even too busy. So that was huge. And then another big scary thing for people cruising, and I understand it, is not seasickness, but like norovirus sickness. Be smart. They give you every opportunity to be smart. There's bathrooms everywhere. There's hand sanitizer everywhere. Before you go into the cafeteria style restaurant, they force you to wash your hands and use hand sanitizer.
Wow.
they don't mess around. So if you get sick, it's your fault. So that, you know, and like if you're gonna go talk to people in foreign countries that aren't maybe completely first world, like don't shake their hand and stick your hand in your mouth. That kind of thing. Like just use common sense and you'll be fine. So
Evan,
that's what I got.
Your point about it never felt that crowded. I felt the same way on the Disney Wish, and that is a 4,000 passenger ship, and it never felt very crowded. So there's enough going on. Everyone's always in different places. You know, there's a lot of people on board, but you don't need to feel like you're crammed into a boat unless you make yourself feel like that.
Exactly. And I do wonder, like, it's amazing that especially Royal Caribbean was very good about this. There's so much going on that, you know, there was a sports trivia thing. We walk into the room that they're holding that, or the bar that they were holding that. And I don't know, there's 2,500 people on the ship. I'm expecting 200, 300, 400 people at least that are gonna be like, yeah, I want to go do trivia. I think there was like 10 of us. Like, there's never like, aside from the main dining room at dinner time, there's never just a big like conglomeration of people, and besides the sail away party and maybe the belly flop contest.
So the reason I'm asking you all of these questions is Royal Caribbean sails a lot of their ships also out of Port Canaveral, which I mentioned is like 45 minutes for me. And me and Ray are looking into Royal Caribbean maybe after this next Disney ship that we go on. So going back to the activities, did they have an app for you to show what was going on and when? Yeah, they had that on the Wish, and I distinctly remember the Saturday on board. As soon as I woke up in the morning, I opened up the app, and it said, like, there are 437 events scheduled for today, or something outrageous like that. So, I mean, that
wasn't like they didn't give me a numeric value, but I mean, even as early as like maybe a month before our sail date, the Royal Caribbean app was uploaded with our ship and our itinerary, and it was, you know, every day, 7 a.m. this and this is happening.
Yep.
8 a.m. this and this is happening. So yeah, and that was it was super accurate, super convenient. It was very easy to use and very easy to, you know, figure out what we wanted to do and when, because you could also, like, there's the day schedule, and then, there's sports trivia at 5 o'clock. I want to do that. I'm going to click on it and hit add to my calendar. So if you're looking at that plan a week in advance of your trip, you see everything you want to do, you add it all to your calendar. Then you could just scroll through your calendar and see, I got Bloody Mary, build your own Bloody Marys at 9 a.m. And then at 10 a.m. I have the belly flop contest. And so it removes all the fluff, as Karsten would say. So it's easier to navigate.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's fun.
So yeah.
I was just saying, so you got your awesome, cool, limited edition credit, and you were like,
yes.
"Ooh, I'm going up in the credit list." Well, Kyle was an awesome sport for the Daytona 500, and we were extremely exhausted afterwards because Mario was able to experience Universal for the first time, which I think he liked. Like, he obviously liked the park, but I don't know if he liked how the park like does things with like the screens and trying to find the story and stuff. He's more of like a SeaWorld, Busch Gardens or something.
Yeah, he liked the parks, but he wasn't super into the story based attractions. Like, I sat next to him on Gringotts, and when we got off, he was like, "Man, first of all, I could only understand like every 4 words, and even then I couldn't hear anything." But I mean, he really enjoyed the parks. But continue.
But anyway, so afterwards we were all exhausted and everything, and Kyle, I was like, "Hey, can we go to Fun Spot Orlando?" And he's like, "Oh, you want to ride White Lightning?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right." So literally, we went over.
My actual response was, "I'm not paying for it, but if someone pays for me, I'll drive."
I bought him his ticket for White Lightning. So yeah, I got to ride White Lightning, brand new credit, and I got to ride Freedom Flyer. brand new credit with the brand new train too. That
Dude,
was fun.
White Lightning's legit.
Oh my
I can't
gosh,
believe-
that's such a sleeper. Wow.
Like, why is that so good? And then Mind Blower 20 minutes down the road is so bad.
So I was talking to Carson about this. It's the same carpenter team that does both coasters. So I don't think it's a fun spot maintenance thing. I think it's a Gravity Group thing.
Well,
Yeah.
we had Gravity Group on the show. We need to have them on again.
I don't
did
know.
ask him, yeah.
I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's not all Gravity Group, right? Like I'm sure it's some fun spots, some Gravity Group, but I feel like maybe they're harder to maintain.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I just wanted to put that in your face, and I've been holding it the whole entire time, that I got 2 credits instead of your 1 credit. So
Well, I got one in Labadee, Haiti, so
I got one in Orlando, Florida.
it's Labadee, Haiti isn't as hard to get to as you would think. You just got to get on a Royal Caribbean ship that goes.
I'm going on the boat. You've convinced me.
It's like $500 to get on a Vision class ship to.
I don't know. I think I can put both of you to shame because I got a traveling Larson Looper credit on Saturday. So I think that's pretty cool.
I'm glad you lived to tell the tale.
It was called the Ring of Fire.
I think they're all called the Ring of Fire, but
that's what Ray said something. She's like Ring of Fire, and I was like, I think they're all named that or Fireball or something.
Like that. Yeah.
Fireball. Yeah.
Fireball Express. I don't know, something like that. Oh, by the way, this is not in anything. I know we're just chatting. I was going to say, oh my goodness, was it Blazing Fury, right? At Dollywood, right?
Yeah.
They said that the water effect is coming back and it's supposedly going to be opening. So, Kyle, I'm sorry that it was closed for your trip, but they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, F you, and we're opening it."
Yeah, I'm glad they're reopening that thing, but it still has a sour taste in my mouth of just no communications, nothing.
Sour taste in your mouth, just like with the free lockers or the paid lockers, huh?
Yeah.
If
you wanted to ride a specific ride this year, make sure you don't travel with Kyle.
Yeah.
Kyle's
got some.
Yeah, I didn't even have the opportunity to pay for a damn locker last year. Right? The thing decided to break 6 days in.
It's a pretty ride. It's a pretty ride to look at.
I did like 6 park days total at Cedar Point last year. Did not have the opportunity to buy my locker. Once. Yeah.
You did, yeah.
I would have missed it too, but Justin called me. We were both staying at Breakers, and he's like, "Hey, are you looking out your window?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Look out." He's like, "Look out your window."
And you're like, "Oh my gosh, I finally got to see a test."
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it. We're like, "Dude, it tests all the time," and then it wasn't testing at all. So.
Well, I have 2 different Cedar Point trips scheduled for early season this year. Coaster Mania, I'll be there Thursday night, Friday, and Saturday. And then like 10 days later, I'll be back in my hometown for a wedding. So I'm sure I'll slip away to the park at some point. Not super confident I'll get Siren's Curse in either of those trips, but I'd be happy if I got Top Thrill too.
Yeah.
I'll have to come back for Siren's Curse once that opens.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say we're probably going to skip obviously next week, and we'll come up with something. We'll come up with something for sure. I mean, this is like almost an hour and 30-minute episode, so I think we made up for being off last week and the week before, just because there wasn't a lot to talk about. But it's nice that the weather's starting to get nice and the parks are starting to come back alive and things are starting to move into the. I mean, Kyle doesn't have to worry about that, but evidently.
Yeah, as always, I rode Mako today, so.
Jesus.
Dude, I along with looking for other cruises to do, I have also been like, okay, so when am I going to Universal again? How can I make this happen soon?
Right.
On to the next one.
Yep.
A little bit of
Kyle, I think that's
a little bit of fun behind the scenes. I got a soft invite to an Epic Universe team member preview early next month.
Ooh, next month?
Yeah, they're starting previews on I think the 4th or something like that. And then they roll through, I think, the 17th or the 18th for team members. and they're allowed to bring guests. So one of my friends that works in theatrical services over at Islands of Adventure, he was like, "Oh, you can be my +1 if I am able to sign up for it." So
nice.
He hasn't signed
That's
up
awesome.
for it yet.
All right.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's happening. It's happening.
Well, when you're there, tell them to release info about annual pass holder previews because I need to get on that.
Yeah. We'll see. That's assuming I even go, right? Like anything can happen. They could decide they're not ready. He could not sign up, or he could sign up.
He could
and
probably
and
listen to
not
this
invite me.
podcast to know that Kyle's like a black cloud and not invite him.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "No, not you. No, I want to actually ride things. Get out of here."
Yeah, right. Yeah. And hey, I don't want to have to pay for a locker. Dang it.
Yeah, I refuse to pay for a locker.
If the locker doesn't end up in this title of this episode, I don't even know
All I'm gonna say on the matter is I'm a pretty responsible theme park guest. I know how to not send things flying out of my pockets. If you are going to say that I can't bring anything in my pockets, I would love for you to give me a place to put my things that does not cost me anything. All I'm gonna say.
And you know what? The park made it right. So
yes,
I
they
don't
did.
worry about it anymore.
All right, let's wrap this thing up. I got to be up early tomorrow. We just talked for like an hour and a half. I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
We're taking next week off. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, what Kyle said. See you soon.
And I got like 20 seconds to talk about. So make sure that you rate us, and also make sure you share our podcast with all of your friends. We do like the comments and everything like that. So feel free to, I don't know. That's all I got.
In to the Rundown on Fun. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Six Flags Entertainment. And remember, always be kind to your ride operators. See you soon.